Hello, welcome inside the Hera Press Box. Our Thursday night show is happening right now. We are on our fourth league of our grading session. We have given grades for the team name, the logo, the arena, stadium, field, and then a jersey grade to each of the teams in the Pro Fast Pitch League, the WNBA, and the NWHL. Tonight we will do NWSL. So if Alyssa doesn't mind, we'll start with that. Get that over with. And as we've done so far, I guess I'll go first. I think I assume you're going to have some more opinions on these jerseys and whatnot. So we will go team by team. Last week we kind of just ran through them and hit on highlights, but we will go team by team. So I did mine in reverse order of standings, which actually created interesting grades, and I guess I'll point that out if it's not obvious in what I wound up saying. So starting off with the Washington Spirit, I gave them a C+ for their name and logo, a B- for their stadium, and a B- for their jersey. Nothing sticks out for me to say, so I'll just turn it over to you.
Yeah, you're not going to get much out of me for the jerseys. I think every single team is pretty much below average with all of their jerseys. There's really nothing to them, kind of like the WNBA in the sense of they're all kind of uniform in the same way, which is fine, but it's just nothing too exciting for me. So if we just want to go C's across the board, C- across the board with jerseys, I didn't put too much time into thinking about their jerseys because I was just kind of if I would actually think about it, I'd end up giving them a better grade than they probably deserve anyways. So as far as logo goes, I gave the Spirit a B. I am not really in love with their stadium either, so I gave that a C as well.
Okay, to Boston, we go, the ninth place team in WSL. I gave them a D for their stadium. That was the worst grade that I gave a stadium. I gave them that. One of the reasons was because if you did watch any of those games through a stream, that would have been the East End, I do believe, had a terrible glare, very difficult to see. So that didn't help, and I mean it's not an outstanding stadium anyway to begin with. So D for stadium for me, B- on the name and logo, and a C for their jersey for me.
Yeah, I am pretty much on board with you. I'd probably give them a little bit better of a grade. I feel bad giving them anything lower than pretty much a C-. Just feel like that's. I mean, there's only so much they can do about it. You know, fields that are turf, I don't understand why a professional team would ever be playing on turf, which Boston, I do believe, plays on turf. And then C for the jersey, C-, really whatever you want to give them at this point. And then logo, I think it's a good design, but I guess I'm not fully on board with the breakers part of it. So I gave them a C.
Why not?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know the history behind it, but
imagine it's. I mean, just like the breaking point, right, in the ocean.
Right.
Being a coast team, right?
It would help if they were not second to last in the league this year.
That would change your opinion?
Yeah, just a little bit.
So if they won the league, be like, man, that's an awesome logo.
No, I wouldn't have it that dramatically. I'd give them a little bit higher grade.
What did you give the Spirit on their name and logo?
I think I give them a C.
What did you give the Dash?
We're not there yet, are we?
We are now.
Okay, well, go for it.
Okay, B- on their name and logo. What'd you give them?
Yeah, I would say I'm on board with that. That's exactly what I did.
But they got 7th. I mean 8th.
But they're also my team, so.
Until next year.
Yeah, until next year. We'll see.
So, and I back to Boston, I'll point out their jerseys was it that C I gave them, that was the lowest grade I gave for a jersey. So, um, moving fully to
Wow,
the
you.
dash.
Why do you? We'll talk about that at the end.
What?
We'll talk about it at the end.
What's that?
Why? What do you like about the NWSL jerseys? Like, why? I mean, essentially, they're all the same, right?
I gave them a C.
I know, but you said the next highest grade is, or that's the worst grade.
Yeah, that's the worst grade.
I don't see a jersey being over a C or being better than a C.
Last week you were talking about how you're comparing them against each other, so you gave somebody an A, even though if there were better ones out there, then you would give them a C. And now you're blaming me for giving these guys a C when I'm just comparing them to everybody else's. So the logo doesn't work. The vertical blue and white stripes don't work for me. And I know you love the dash jersey. So as I said, we'll continue on with the dash. Like I said, I know you want to get to their jerseys because you love them. B- for their name and logo from the dash. I gave them an A for their stadium. And that was not the only A I gave out, but yeah. So far out of the first three, I mean, it's no doubt this stadium is superior. Then A gave them a B for their jersey.
Yeah, I agree with you on the stadium as well. I think it's one of those that is one of the better ones in the league, and we'll of course get to better and better as we move up the list.
Hopefully the dash grow into it.
Right, and then jersey. I just don't like them. I just every single jersey I just don't like. There's one team that I like their jerseys.
I thought you said you like the blue and orange dash.
The blue and orange, yes, but they don't wear those anymore. That was, I think, last season. I don't know if that was like an alternate jersey, and for whatever reason why they decided to move away from that, I'm not exactly sure. But I think the league had, across the board, they had the white in the middle and then the blue on the side, which I don't know if that was something that they had planned before or if that was some sort of specialized jersey. But it's better than what they had, but it's still no. And then logo, I just don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get why they're called the dash either. So I gave them a C.
Okay. Wow. Good harsh. Okay. FCKC, commonly referred to as the Blues. I gave FCKC a C+ for the name and logo. The only reason why I gave them that high of a grade is because I mentioned this last time we were getting upgraded. They integrated a female athlete into their logo, which is why I gave them a C+. Other than that, never too infused. I know it's a soccer thing, but never too infused with the teams who don't come out and give a mascot or a nickname to their team. So yeah, they're the Blues, but they're FCKC.
Right.
C for their stadium. They're at Swope Park. I gave that a C. That's next to last stadium. And then for their jersey, I gave them a B-. And that's, I mean, I like dominoes. We're getting one, so I gotta support.
Start with jersey with me. You can either pick C or C-, what everyone is going to get, except for one team. Stadium, I agree with you, is a C. Logo, I gave them a B-.
Okay. Then, by coincidence, the next team is the other team that doesn't come out and give themselves a nickname. That is the Sky Blue, commonly referred to as the Bees. Sky Blue coming from the soccer academy there in New Jersey. C's across the board, a variation of a C. C- for their name and logo. C+ for their stadium there as they play at Rutgers, the State University of New Jersey's field. And then a C+ for their jersey.
Yeah, C for their jersey. Their logo, I don't even know what's going on there.
Nope, I don't.
C
I tried looking that
minus.
up. No idea.
I don't even know why I'm not giving them a failing grade for their logo, to be quite honest. Their stadium, I think it's cool that they play at Rutgers, even though I'm kind of against college and a professional team sharing for whatever reason. I like theirs a little bit more, so I gave them a B minus.
Okay. Seattle, they very close to ranking out as the best team. So as I said, that it was interesting to see kind of how my grades went. So we just went through the 5 bottom teams for the standings.
Mm-hmm.
I now see, besides Houston, who received 1A and 2 Bs, from now on, I don't have anything lower than a B for my grades. So Seattle Reign, A for their name and logo. Obviously, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
A powerful name,
Mm-hmm.
and they have the Queen as their logo,
Mm-hmm.
which is awesome. Stadium, A. It's pretty cool how they have that very high sitting stadium seating on one side, and then I gave them a B for their jersey. Their neon is different. Sometimes can be frustrating and annoying, but it's different. And then I also do appreciate their blue jerseys as well.
Yeah. So kind of gave them a little bit better grade on the jerseys simply for the fact that you gave them a worse grade. I'm a fan of the neon colors, so I bumped them up just a little bit to a C+.
Mm-hmm.
Logo, I'm on board with you. I think it's awesome that they have the Queen on there. It just makes sense for them. At Stadium, the actual stadium I like. It's the field that gets me. They have turf, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken. And they have, and I don't even know what it is, there's this black strip on one of the sides of the field, and it looks like a part of a track, and I don't know if that's what it's made out of, and if it is, what are they doing playing on it? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
You don't know what I'm talking about.
No.
It looks like it's a little strip, and every single time I watch them, it just annoys me because it's like they got to play on that. If you're going for a ball, if it's actually part of.
Oh, is it part of the football field? Is that what you're talking about? The sideline?
It's kind of like a baseball field being on a football field. I don't like it.
Oh man, that. Okay,
like
moving on. Talking about one of the coolest things in pro athletics. So, was that it for your grades for Seattle?
Yeah.
Okay, on to the Red Stars. Coolest city flag in America. So obviously an A+ is awarded to the Chicago Red Stars for their name and logo being integrated with the city. And obviously the Red Stars coming from the flag. Tremendous work there. I gave them an A for their stadium, sort of similar to the Dash, where it's a stadium that they can grow into. And even though the stadium and the people who run the stadium have no idea that there's a women's professional team that plays there, it's something that they can grow into. Like I said, with the Dash, a B+ for their jersey, and yeah. So this is the first B+ I've given. Highest I've given out, and this is one of those which I guess maybe you just haven't seen the alternate jerseys. That are really cool, but I don't blame you for not paying attention to them. Because I talked about them enough.
I haven't even given them grades yet.
But it's going to be okay. Oh, C+.
No. We'll start off with jerseys then.
Okay.
I gave them a B. They're my favorite jersey in the league. I helped them out.
Man.
I can't give them higher than a B though. But they're alternate jerseys I have seen. Stadium, I also gave them an A. I think I love Toyota. I love the stadium. I don't love where it's at, though. Don't get me wrong on that. I don't like it being out in the middle of nowhere.
It's perfect for me. If it was downtown, there was a 0% chance I would have been to as many games as I have already.
That's probably true. And then logo, I gave them an A. Across the board, they're favorite everything, pretty much.
Okay, so that's the fourth place team. On to the third place team, the Orlando Pride. And the Orlando Pride, on average, are the highest ranking team for me. Highest grades. I gave them an A for their name and logo. I gave them an A+ for their stadium, which is brand new and has purple seats. Thank you, Orlando FC. The Pride can take credit for that. And I gave them an A for their jersey.
Again, I don't understand jerseys besides outside of Chicago. So Chicago got the highest grade for jerseys.
What's wrong with the Pride?
They're better, but I think they're boring jerseys. I think they're all essentially the same. And I guess that's just kind of how it is nowadays. I mean, if you look at all the leagues, and we're talking both men's and women's size of things.
Are there any solid colors besides? So the Pride and the Courage have solid colored jerseys.
Do the Thorns have solid colored jerseys?
Their red ones they have black. It's like a tinted end to the red.
Yeah. I just don't get it.
Okay, other grades for the Pride?
A for their stadium. I think it's an amazing facility that they built there. And then a minus for the logo.
Okay, final two teams. The aforementioned Portland Thorns. I gave them an A+ for the name and logo. The Rose City. Yeah. The Thorns as their nickname. Very cool. An A+. Even though, let's retract just for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Thorn would be the incorrect term if they were basing that off of the rose from the Rose City, because roses don't have thorns. Roses have thistles. Thorns are only on woody plants. So if we're going biologically speaking, they would get an F. But aesthetically speaking, they get an A+ from me. A stadium, A+, and that comes from their fans mostly. And I give them a B for their jersey.
Yeah. C for their jersey. A- for their logo, and A for their stadium.
I've got a great suggestion that we'll have ready for Sunday's show, but we'll finish up with one more team here, the North Carolina Courage, in their first season in existence. I gave them an A for their name and logo. I gave them a B for their stadium, and I gave them a B+ for their jersey.
C for their jersey. Logo is cool-ish, I guess. I gave them a B-, and then I'm actually a pretty big fan of their stadium, so I gave them a B+.
B+.
Yep. This is probably the harshest I've been.
Yeah, I know it is. So, homework assignment for Sunday.
Oh, boy.
Pick one team, and you design their jersey.
See, but I'm not creative enough to design.
You have just one team. Doesn't have to be all. If you were telling me to do this, I would say, okay, how about I just do it for all 10 teams? So you pick one team. Preferably keep color scheme, but if you want to change it up, you can. Include the current sponsor that is on their jersey on that uniform that you create.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll take a look at that on Sunday, and I'll probably wind up giving you a grade on that, and we'll see. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to you giving yourself a grade, because you sound like
it's going to be way harsher probably than any of these, because I'm not. I lack in creativity when it comes to this kind of stuff. It can be any team, or are you going to pick the team for me?
It can be any team you want of these 10 teams. So you have no excuses.
Okay.
So news out of the NWSL. Pia to Houston. Is that what you read from that headline?
Say that again?
Pia to Houston. Did you not see the headline?
I did not see the headline, and I don't know how
So
I feel about that.
There is an NWSL team that has reached out to her and maybe not made an offer, but they have discussed her potentially becoming a coach of an NWSL franchise. And as we talked on here before,
need to let that one marinate. I'm sorry.
That Houston, should be, in at least my opinion, and half of Osa's opinion, that Houston should be searching for a new coach. And she says that she is still considering.
I'm still considering them. Thank you.
No, as in Pia is still considering.
Oh, yeah, that's. I'm not sure how I feel about that one. Mainly just about not her coaching ability. I'm not necessarily questioning that. I just don't know if I'm on board with her yet.
I'd appreciate that, especially having her and Sermoni coach against each other.
that would actually be really cool.
One thing we did want to get to tonight was the potential NWHL expansion.
Mm-hmm.
We teased that last week. We'll talk about it more in detail today, as there have been rumors that the league is looking to expand. I think a few sources have said 2 teams. One source that's been a few months ago said that there was a possibility that they expanded to 4. So I think that's at least a good starting point to think about. 1, what would be best for the league, and 2, how to go about this. In my mind, there's 2 ways to sort of expand the NWHL. Either, so you have these 4. You have these 4 in the northeast region of the country. They travel by bus. So you want to, I guess, assume that in order to help the league and make this make sense for them, that you need that to continue to happen. So
right.
If you expand with 2 teams, I think you keep them in that region. So Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Toronto, Washington, Montreal have been rumored. There is a neutral site game being played in Rochester and Pittsburgh, so those 2 are possibilities. The All-Star game might be in Washington, D.C., so there's a shot at that. And then Montreal and Toronto, there was a leak that those 2 were going to be the cities chosen. So those might be at the top of the list. So I think you either move 2 teams to the New England region or there in Canada, or you add 4 more teams and you push them a little farther to the west. So such as Chicago, Detroit, Toronto, Minneapolis, those types of markets there where they're still not too far away, but you can split it up a West and East division, and the travel is easier. Maybe, you would make your East Coast trip, your Midwest trip. That's my thinking so far.
Yeah, I think it's going to be difficult for them to expand out of the region, pretty much for the same reason that you suggested, in the sense of there's not a lot of money there for them to be traveling halfway across the country to, Minnesota, Chicago, even Detroit. I think is asking a lot at this point. So I think that there needs to be a substantial amount of expansion, meaning 4 teams, for that to happen. I would like to see a team, though, in the Midwest region. I know we kind of touched on this probably now a while back, just about having great colleges here in the Midwest, but there being no professional teams here. So we'll see. Do you think they'll expand with 4 teams right away, or do you think they'll keep it at 2?
Well, I think that depends on if. What I would say exactly what I said. I mean, they could expand to 4 teams and have them all in the New England region, but
Right.
by then you're pretty well saturating that
Right.
part of the country. You're going to start making people decide between 2 different teams who they're going to cheer for, and that's the last thing you want from a growing, expanding league.
Yeah.
So one thing that can help this, sort of escalate this, is having NWHL or NHL teams and sort of buy teams, combine with the front offices and help out marketing wise, ticket sales, facilities, and we have now seen that with the New Jersey Devils as they have become partners of the New York Riveters, who will now be called the Metropolitan Riveters, and they will drop the red, white, and blue and pick up the red, black, and white of the Devils. And cool promotion to start off the season, in that the Riveters will be playing a midday game at the Devils Arena, and then the Devils will be playing later that evening. So I think it's, if you buy a ticket to the Devils game or a certain level of ticket to the Devils game, you automatically get season tickets for the Riveters. So very cool promotion that the Devils are doing. Hopefully that continues. It's going to be great to watch that unfold as a partnership. And as we talk about with expansion, we'll see if that helps out more there.
Yeah, and the one thing I like about it is the fact of that there's a lot of possibility there. I like that they're partnering together. I like that they're doing all of this because it opens it up to, well, hey, if this is gonna work, if this is gonna be beneficial for the NWHL, then who's to say that we couldn't add 2 teams in the Midwest or 4 teams in the Midwest region? The only thing I don't like about it, this, and I already kind of mentioned it to you, was the fact that they're changing their jersey or jersey colors and then changing their name. So they're going more in line with the Devils, which is fine, and I understand that, but I also want them to have their own unique brand and not have to be what the NHL is and be, constricted, however you want to call it, to their guidelines, to their colors, to their name, however you really want to say that.
And there will be jerseys unveiled before the season begins. Let's see, their first exhibition game is a week from tomorrow on the 13th. They play against Russia. I would assume that they have those unveiled by then.
Right.
So in the next week, we'll be looking to see how much has changed as far as jerseys go and marketing goes. Hopefully they keep their logo, but like what I said, hopefully they can find a better way to integrate that into a jersey.
Right.
And it'd be a perfect scenario as far as marketing goes.
Yeah, I think it's an extremely smart move on both sides. I'm just looking online at their jerseys now, and I feel like if they have to change their logo, I'm going to be very upset.
Well, I imagine they're not, since they're still called the Riveters.
Right. I would hope not.
I mean, what would they change it to?
What? I don't know. Yeah, I know.
I don't think you have to worry about them changing the logo. They would have changed the name had they done that.
Right. I don't think that they're going to. But it's just worrisome for me.
Yeah. Well, I'd be worried if the world ended tomorrow, too. I don't think it's going to, Alyssa.
It could.
You made a trip to Chicago today, and what'd you see?
Oh, I saw there was, and I don't know if it's like a state thing or what, but it was near Rosemont, I think, which makes some sense. There was a small, it was small sign, but it was the first time that I'd ever seen it. And I've been to Chicago for a handful of times now. Maybe I just didn't realize that it was there. Obviously, I didn't realize it was there, but it was a Chicago Bandits sign. Just their logo, kind of, what you Google when you see Chicago Bandits. That's all it was. It wasn't like a billboard or anything like that. Not a huge sign, but it was the first time that I'd ever seen that city promote that team and do anything to say, hey, it's here.
How far from downtown were you?
Well, I'm trying to think of where I was. I think I had just gotten on the L train, and I had gotten on the L train in Rosemont. So it makes sense that it was out there.
Yeah, so it's.
And I was close enough to the Allstate Arena that I got to see its gloriousness all by itself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like
great
that.
little place.
It's not. It's an ugly looking building too.
Just a warehouse.
It's just a warehouse.
Well, we are at 32 minutes of action time here on our podcast. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Wrap up with?
No, I think that's all that I had for this week.
Okay. Be dumb if we didn't mention the WNBA finals, which did end with the Lynx winning Game 5, and I know you were going to try to bypass it, but I will bring it up. The Lynx did win in Game 5. Great series, great Game 5, great reception. That's all I've read. So good for the league. Beautiful Williams Arena.
Yeah. That terrible court.
We'll probably start making that a neutral site championship in Williams Arena.
Yeah. So I said the Lynx were going to win. I just didn't. My heart wasn't in that, but I knew that I had a feeling. I didn't think that they were going to come back from a heartbreaker last year and not win this year. Maya Moore is just crazy ridiculous too.
4th championship in 7 seasons. So franchise established completely.
Right.
So this will be the in 20 years this will be a time talked about when the Lynx ran the league. So
for one season.
No, for their dynasty.
Okay. Sure.
No, people won't be talking about this.
No, they won't, because in 20 years, SportsCenter probably still won't have a whole show dedicated.
Why do we have to worry about SportsCenter when we have the Hera Press Box?
Oh, that's true. We just have to create a whole episode now for the Lynx to make up for it.
You would talk about them for a whole episode?
Probably could.
I didn't think you'd want to.
Oh, I don't hate the Lynx. I don't hate them.
You're just jealous of them?
Yeah, I mean, they have Maya Moore. I don't hate the team.
Yeah, well, eventually we can we will act like we're a SportsCenter. We can talk about, are the Lynx bad for the WNBA? That can be a full episode there. So we'll get that on the docket and start brainstorming for that as you start your artistic ability on your jersey design. So I look forward to that on Sunday. But for tonight's episode, I do believe we've reached our limit of talking. So we'll sign off, and thanks for stopping by the Hera Press Box.